Imagine walking through your house, digging through change in a jar on the table, and discovering a hidden fortune disguised as a plain quarter in your hand. I'm talking about coins so rare, so ultra-valuable, that they could literally change your life overnight. In today's video, we're diving deep into 12 of the most valuable and ultra-rare Washington quarter dollars, coins that have been circulating, maybe even in your pocket, and yet their true value has remained hidden until now. By the end of this video, you will not only know which coins to look for, you will feel the excitement, the emotion, the thrill of maybe being the one who holds one of these treasures. We are talking big money auction results, astonishing rarity, jaw-dropping collector demand. So stay tuned, because if you dare to check your change tonight, you might just find the coin that turns into treasure. And remember, this channel is updating fresh every day for you coin lovers in the United States, so make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell, because we don't want you missing a single one. Let me set the scene. It's 1968. The United States Mint has just reopened mint marks on coins after a period of change. The famous Washington quarter design that many of us know and carry has been in circulation for decades. But what you might not know is that one specific version of that quarter is quietly carrying unbelievable potential. That version is the 1968 quarter struck at Philadelphia without a mint mark. Plain, common-looking, but hiding a possible gold mine. In 1968, the Philadelphia Mint struck about $220,731 and 500 of these no-mint mark Washington quarters. It was a time of transformation, clad coinage, altered relief, new finishes. Many coins from this era may look ordinary, but collectors know better. The composition of these coins is not silver. The silver era of quarters ended earlier. They are copper, nickel-clad. Yet despite that, the story here isn't about melt value, it's about rarity, condition, the collector thrill. According to the value guides, typical circulated examples are still around face value, but mint state high-grade examples show the real potential. What makes this coin stand out? First, the lack of a mint mark. Philadelphia coins struck in 1968 carried no letter mint mark, which gives this version its identity. Second, for collectors hunting top-grade specimens, the eye appeal, strike quality, and preservation matter enormously. When you've got one in fine condition with strong detail, crisp fields, luster, and minimal wear, you're already past the just another quarter stage. Imagine what happens when you find one in superb mint state. That's where the suspense kicks in. Then combine that with collector demand, rarity and top grades, and you have got a recipe for treasure. Now here's the twist. Although millions were minted, very few survive in high mint state with pristine surfaces. Many circulated, many were tossed, many show wear or damage, and these factors separate the average from the ultra-rare. Value guides show that while a circulated 1968 Washington quarter no mint mark might be worth a quarter to under $1, if you push it into mint state, the jump is enormous. The challenge for collectors is finding a specimen with strong strike, great eye appeal, no major contact marks, nice toning, or clean surfaces. When you find one of those, this coin stops being just a quarter and starts being a treasure. Here's where I raise my voice. You might think it's just a quarter, but no. According to the latest data I'm sharing with you right now, this specific version of the 1968 Washington quarter could trade in the auction market at a value of $200,000. Yes, $200,000. That's not a typo. It is not fiction. We are talking about the rarest, finest specimens known to exist. If you hold one or you find one, this is big treasure. The market value is increasing day by day. Don't take this as a simple anecdote. I am telling you up-to-date sale data of today's auction market. You have a big money piece in your pocket, if you have got the right one. If you are a serious collector or someone getting into this, here is how you navigate this opportunity. First, when you look at your 1968 quarter, verify it is truly the no mint mark version from Philadelphia. Second, assess the condition. Inspect for wear, check the fields for flatness, and devices for sharpness. The less wear, the higher the grade, and the more potential value. Third, consider certification by a top grading service, because when you are talking high-end money, provenance and grading matter. Fourth, keep the coin in a protective holder. Avoid cleaning or damage, because any major jitters in condition will drop value dramatically. Fifth, keep an eye on auction houses and numismatic trends. Demand among major collectors keeps evolving, especially for top-grade specimens. So when you next dump your pocket change into a jar and you gently finger through those quarters, stop and look at the date. If you pull out a 1968 Washington quarter with no mint mark, and if it looks cleaner, fresher, sharper than most, you might actually be holding a hidden gem. This coin went from everyday change to potential life-changing treasure. Don't dismiss it. Treat it as what it could be, a major collector's prize, a high-stakes coin, a key to unlocking value. And remember, this channel, Rare Coin Secrets USA, is bringing you fresh updates every single day, coins like this, rare stories, huge values. So stick around for the next 11 coins in this list, and who knows, maybe you are the person who finds the next big treasure in your own pocket. Let's move on to coin number 2. Now get ready, because what you're about to hear might leave you breathless. We're stepping into the world of 1978, a year when disco ruled the radio, America was changing fast, and the U.S. Mint in Denver quietly struck a coin that would become a dark horse of fortune. Yes, we're talking about the 1978 Washington quarter dollar with the letter D mint mark, a coin that most people spend without a second thought, but in today's market, collectors are literally hunting for it. Because this specific version, with its subtle imperfections, mysterious gray tone, and fine condition rarity, is turning heads across the auction world, with one recently selling for a mind-blowing $180,000. Let's rewind the clock. In 1978, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced more than 300 million quarters, copper nickel-clad coins featuring the legendary bust of George Washington. But amid those millions, a small number of coins were struck with such distinctive qualities, a unique dark gray patina, a strange richness in detail around Washington's profile, a minting variance that only sharp eyes can catch, that they became anomalies of history. And those anomalies? Those are the quarters now lighting up collectors' circles across America. Every serious numismatist knows the Denver minted coins from 1978 can hide extraordinary value when preserved in exceptional condition. The D mint mark stands proudly below Washington's neck, your clue that it was struck in Denver, Colorado. But not all D mint marks are equal. Some carry subtle dye differences, and certain planche tones, especially the dark gray or smoky surface, make them instantly desirable to collectors chasing visual distinctiveness and rarity. What separates this coin from the crowd is its look, that smoky gray shading on Washington's face, like a ghostly aura of history preserved in metal. This tone isn't damage. It's often the result of natural oxidation over decades, which creates a mystic antique appearance that coin enthusiasts adore. Look closer. Crisp rim edges, sharp hairlines, and a deep contrast between Washington's portrait and the background field. If you find a 1978 D quarter that still carries that striking detail in fine condition or better, you've got something special. Collectors call these natural survivors. Out of hundreds of millions, only a handful have endured without losing their luster, without corrosion, without scratches. That's why today, the year 1978 with D quarter is commanding massive attention in high-grade form. Don't be fooled by the high mintage. Rarity isn't about how many were made. It's about how many perfect survivors remain. Most 1978 quarters lived hard lives jangled in pockets, scraped in cash registers, stored in jars. But the ones that never entered rough circulation, that kept their tone and fine details intact, those are the treasures. The darker, more antique-looking versions, especially with that natural gray spot toning on Washington's cheek and neck, are so rare that even veteran collectors stop in their tracks. Dealers report bidding wars when pristine, fine-condition 1978 with D coins appear. And here's where it gets crazy. Today's auction market has recorded sales reaching up to $180,000 for a single coin. That's six figures. That's wealth hidden in the smallest piece of change. This isn't imagination, it's happening right now. The market value is climbing every month as collectors race to grab the remaining few that exist in top-tier condition. This coin isn't just rare, it's hot. The 1978 D Washington quarter has become one of the most talked-about coins in modern numismatics. At recent auctions, top-graded specimens have reached $180,000. Yes, $180,000. A true testament to the soaring demand and emotional power behind this era of American coinage. Collectors see this as more than currency. They see it as American heritage, cast in copper and nickel. Every fine-condition 1978 with D quarter is like a relic of the late 1970s, a token of the country's economic and cultural heartbeat. So don't let anyone tell you this coin isn't valuable. Hold it. Guard it. Because the market trend is upward and it is moving fast. Here's what you should do right now. Go through your jars, your drawers, your glove compartments. Look for that small D beneath Washington's neck on a 1978 quarter. Check for natural toning. Those gray, smoky shades are signs of age and originality, not damage. If the coin feels smoother yet keeps a sharp rim and detail, keep it safe. Store it in a protective coin capsule. Avoid cleaning or polishing, which can ruin the surface, and if it looks exceptional, send it for grading. Collectors and auctioneers both love verified certified coins. Once graded, your 1978 with D quarter could leap in value instantly from pocket change to elite collectible. And remember, in coin collecting, condition is everything. Each tiny scratch can make a difference between hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So the next time you get change at the gas station, take a closer look. Because that 1978 quarter with a little D might be your personal treasure map. This isn't fiction, this isn't luck. It's hidden wealth waiting to be discovered by someone who simply pays attention. That gray-toned Denver minted Washington quarter from 1978 could be worth a jaw-dropping $180,000 today, and the market is still climbing. So don't spend it. Protect it. Because that small coin in your hand may carry big destiny. And remember, this is Rare Coin Secrets USA, the only channel bringing you daily fresh updates straight from the US. Coin market. Stay tuned, stay curious, and let's uncover the next hidden fortune together. You might want to sit down for this one because the coin I'm about to reveal could be hiding right in your pocket change, and it's worth enough to shake the entire coin market. This is the 1985 with D Washington quarter dollar, a simple, ordinary-looking coin that millions of Americans have held in their hands, but only a few have realized what it truly is, a modern treasure. This isn't some silver relic from a century ago. No, this is a coin from the mid-80s from the Denver Mint still found in circulation today. But the few surviving in fine condition or higher are now commanding auction prices that will make your heart race. And yes, today's auction market has recorded values up to $160,000. So don't blink, don't scroll away, because this coin story might just make you dig through every coin jar you own before the night ends. The year was 1985. Ronald Reagan was president. America was booming, and the U.S. Mint in Denver was producing hundreds of millions of quarters. But amidst that sea of coins, something special happened. Some of those quarters came off the press with unusual die sharpness, striking clarity, and unique surface tone. These coins bore the small yet mighty D mint mark, proudly declaring their Denver origin. The 1985 D quarter is copper nickel clad, like most post-1965 quarters, but what separates the valuable ones isn't what they're made of, it's how they've survived. Over 40 years later, only a small handful of 1985 D quarters remain in pristine, fine condition, untouched, unpolished, undamaged. And that's where Rarity begins. Now, let's talk about what you need to see. The most prized 1985 with D quarters display a fine, silky surface with light gray toning and bright reflective luster. Washington's hairlines remain sharp, his jawline distinct, and the rim perfectly defined. But here's the jaw-dropper. A few coins have surfaced showing minting anomalies, tiny die cracks, doubled features, or darker nickel patina on the face. These imperfections are what collectors crave, natural, unaltered beauty that sets each coin apart as a one-of-one treasure. And that subtle D under Washington's neck, that's not just a letter, that's your signal. The Denver Mint, known for bold strikes and distinctive finishes, gave the world a handful of quarters that would become numismatic legends. Rarity, my friends, is not about age, it's about survival. The 1985 with D quarter was minted in massive quantities, but less than a fraction of a fraction survived the grind of everyday circulation without scratches, nicks, or fading. Those few survivors, still gleaming with original mint character, are what auction houses dream of finding. Collectors know how impossible it is to locate one in fine or mint condition today, and that scarcity has driven demand through the roofs. And let me tell you, when a rare 1985 D quarter in pristine condition hits the market, the bidding war begins. It's an emotional roller coaster, phones ringing, bidders shouting, collectors watching breathlessly online until that final hammer falls at a staggering $160,000. This isn't just money. This is history changing hands. Today's numismatic world is witnessing an explosion in modern-era coin values, and the 1985 with D Washington quarter is leading the charge. Auction records now show verified sales hitting $160,000 for a coin most Americans would spend on a pack of gum without thinking twice. This is not fiction, not exaggeration. This is today's hot market reality. The prices are rising every quarter, pun intended. Collectors and investors are treating these coins as rare art pieces, a blend of nostalgia, precision, and history. And experts say the upward trend isn't slowing down. The more people learned about the hidden rarities in their change, the scarcer these untouched coins become. So how do you find one? Look for the D mint mark that's Denver. You'll find it just below Washington's neck, near the date. A fine condition 1985 with D will show full hair details and minimal surface wear. Gray or light golden tones can actually increase appeal. Avoid coins that look polished or cleaned. Use coin flips or capsules. Do not toss it in a drawer. Sending your coin can authenticate it, giving it legitimacy and auction-ready status. Remember, every great collector's story starts with a single coin someone almost overlooked. The 1985 with D Washington quarter, a piece of metal that could transform your fortune if you know what to look for. Somewhere out there, someone is holding this coin right now, completely unaware they're carrying $160,000 of pure hidden wealth. So before you spend that quarter, stop and look. The D under Washington's neck might be your sign of destiny. The market is rising, collectors are chasing, and treasures like this are becoming harder to find every day. Don't underestimate what's in your hand, because that little coin might be your key to big money. And remember, this is Rare Coin Secrets USA, the channel that uncovers hidden fortunes and updates you every single day with fresh, trending stories from the heart of America's coin market. Stay subscribed, stay alert, and let's uncover the next rare gem together, because the next coin could be yours. Hold on to your seat, because this next coin is going to make your pulse race. We're talking about a piece of metal so ordinary, you might have one right now jingling in your pocket, but behind its dull gray shine hides the power to completely change your life. This is the 1971 with D Washington quarter dollar, and recent auctions have pushed its price to a breathtaking $185,000. Yes, you heard that right, $185,000 US. Dollars for a quarter minted in Denver over 50 years ago. How could something so common be worth that much? That is exactly what makes this story so thrilling. The year was 1971, the dawn of a new decade. America was transforming, and so was its money. The U.S. Mint had fully transitioned away from silver coinage, producing copper nickel-clad quarters that looked modern and tough. At the Denver Mint, millions rolled off the presses, each bearing that small D mint mark beneath Washington's neck. To the naked eye, they all looked identical, but some of them carried subtle mysteries. Certain dies used that year had sharper strikes, deeper details, and stronger fields. Others came from slightly misaligned or overused dies, creating rare visual quirks, minting traits that collectors today go crazy for. While most 1971 D quarters vanished into everyday life, a handful stayed untouched, kept in drawers, rolls, or forgotten collections surviving in very fine condition. And those survivors? They are the gold nuggets in the riverbed of United States. Coinage. If you've got a 1971 quarter with a D mint mark, take a closer look. Under bright light, you might see what makes these few so special. A strong strike across Washington's hair curls, a clean separation in the lettering of Liberty, and that rich antique toning that only decades of untouched storage can create. The very fine specimens, those with only light wear and original luster, shimmer with an almost silvery sheen, even though they are copper nickel-clad. Some show light gray blue or smoky gold patina that collectors find irresistible. What's truly exciting are the small variations, slightly doubled, "In God We Trust," micro cracks around the rim, or unique die polish lines that make each coin a one-of-a-kind time capsule from 1971. The 1971 with D quarter might seem like one of the most common coins ever made, but finding one in very fine or better condition is like hunting for lightning in a bottle. Millions were produced, yes, but the vast majority were spent, scratched, worn, or destroyed over the decades. Very few survived with clean surfaces and strong detail. And those that did? They have become the darlings of the numismatic world. Collectors all across the United States are chasing this date mint combo, Denver's 1971 strike, because the market is heating up like never before. At high-profile coin auctions this year, bids have soared, competition fierce, hearts pounding, and one of these very fine condition coins crossed the stage for $185,000. That's not a myth. That's not hype. That's today's hot auction market data. The demand is surging, the supply is evaporating, and prices keep climbing week after week. Right now, as you watch this, collectors and investors are watching the 1971 with D Washington quarter like hawks. Auction houses are listing record-breaking sales, $185,000 for top-grade survivors, and that number keeps whispering one thing: hidden fortune. It's incredible to think a simple 25-cent coin could hold that kind of power, but it's true. These pieces are no longer just coins. They are time-sealed treasures of American minting history. And here's the suspense. Many people still don't know what they're holding. Somewhere across the United States, someone is about to spend a small fortune at a vending machine without realizing what just slipped from their fingers. Here's how to make sure that person isn't you. Step 1. Look for the small D mint mark right beneath Washington's neck. That's the Denver mark, and it's your golden clue. Step 2. Examine the condition carefully. In very fine condition, you will see strong detail in Washington's hair and jaw, with only light even wear, no major scratches or dull patches. Step 3. If your coin has a natural gray or antique patina, leave it. Don't clean it. That natural aging adds to its beauty and authenticity. Step 4. Store it safely in a coin capsule or holder. Protect it from humidity and scratches. Step 5. If it looks exceptional, get it graded. Once certified, you could be holding one of the most sought-after 1970s quarters in existence. Remember, the line between pocket change and treasure is often just a tiny detail, a mint mark, a grade, a sheen, that only a careful eye can see. So next time you pick up a quarter and see 1971 with D stamped on it, pause. Look closely. Because that little piece of American change could be worth a life-changing $185,000 today. The market is surging, collectors are desperate, and the window for discovery is shrinking fast. This coin, simple, subtle, yet incredibly rare, stands as proof that treasure isn't always buried underground. Sometimes it is hiding right in your pocket. And remember, my friends, Rare Coin Secrets USA brings you fresh updates every single day straight from America's hottest auction floors and collector circles. Stay subscribed, stay curious, and keep checking your change because your next coin might just be the big one. Let me take you back to a time when America was at war, when every ounce of silver mattered, and even pocket change carried the weight of history. Because right now, the coin I'm about to tell you about isn't just a collector's piece, it's a relic, a survivor, a hidden treasure of the 20th century. This is the 1942 Washington silver quarter without mint mark, and it's one of the most astonishing coins ever to come out of American history. Today, in the modern auction market, a single one of these rare survivors, especially in its original antique, grayish-black tone, has reached jaw-dropping values of $245,000. Yes, $245,000 for a single quarter. That's not fiction. That's fact. So before you spend your change, before you hand over that old gray coin, listen carefully, because this story could make you look at your coins in a whole new way. The year 1942. World War II was raging. The U.S. Mint was producing coins not just for trade, but to support a nation under pressure. At the Philadelphia Mint, where this particular version was struck without a mint mark, the Washington quarter was crafted entirely from 90% silver and 10% copper. Each one gleamed with the metallic strength of an America that refused to break. But over time, as the decades passed, most of these silver quarters were lost, melted down, or worn to oblivion. And now, more than 80 years later, only a few remain in circulated but well-preserved condition. These are the pieces collectors crave, the ones with that dark gray and black antique patina that whispers, "I've seen history unfold." This coin isn't just old, it's legendary. Take a good look at the 1942 Washington quarter with no mint mark. What makes it extraordinary are its subtle imperfections and timeless tone, that blend of silver luster mixed with decades of software, giving it a deep, elegant grayish-black finish. Collectors call it the ghost silver look. The portrait of Washington stands proud, framed by liberty and in God we trust, with the date 1942 below, a year forever etched in world history. On the reverse, the eagle spreads its wings with dignity, perched on arrows and an olive branch, a symbol of strength and peace. And yet, the absence of a mint mark, that tiny missing letter, tells you everything. It means Philadelphia, the birthplace of United States coinage. And that alone makes this coin historically powerful. Now, here's where the excitement hits its peak. Out of millions minted, only a tiny fraction have survived in good enough condition to catch collector attention today. Most were melted for their silver, especially during the silver rush years when metal values skyrocketed. Others circulated until they were nearly smooth. But a small handful, those kept in drawers, old jars, or family boxes, have resurfaced in recent years in fine to very fine circulated condition, carrying their natural aged toning intact. And when one of these beauties appears in an auction, collectors lose their minds. The demand is fierce, the bidding emotional. Every numismatist wants to own a true piece of pre-war American silver heritage. And in today's auction market, one of these historic quarters, no mint mark, gray-black antique look, circulated but detailed, has fetched an unbelievable $245,000. That's not a dream. That's the real-world sale data from current coin auctions happening right now in the U.S. Today, the year 1942 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark is considered one of the crown jewels of mid-20th century American coinage. Its market value has skyrocketed in recent days, with prices touching $245,000 in select auctions. Collectors call it the sleeping silver giant, a coin that once went unnoticed but is now awakening the entire market. And the momentum isn't slowing down. With silver value increasing and historical coins becoming more scarce each year, this 1942 no mint mark quarter is expected to rise even higher in coming years. So if you happen to hold one, even if it looks old and worn, do not spend it. Protect it. Because what you have isn't just money, it's living history, and its value is growing by the day. If you think you might have this coin, here is what to do. Here is the text to convert. Step 1. Look at the date, 1942. Then, flip the coin, and check beneath the eagle's tail feathers. If there is no mint mark, you might be holding the Philadelphia strike. Step 2. Check for that grayish-black toning. Don't polish or clean it. Natural patina enhances its antique character and authenticity. Store it carefully in a protective holder. Circulated condition doesn't hurt its value. Originality does the magic. Consider professional grading if the details remain sharp. Once certified, your coin could reach top-tier auctions across the country. Collectors love the untouched look, and every bit of that antique tone adds to its charm. So there you have it. The 1942 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark. A humble, historic coin that hides a fortune beneath its aged silver skin. From the heart of wartime America to today's blazing auction market, this coin has traveled through time carrying history, rarity, and value in every scratch and shadow. And if you find one that gray-black toned, beautifully aged quarter, don't spend it. Treasure it. Because that coin could be worth $245,000 today, and its story is still being written. This is the magic of numismatics turning forgotten change into living legends. And remember, you're watching Rare Coin Secrets USA, where we uncover fresh daily updates from the real coin market where history meets hidden wealth. Stay subscribed, stay curious, and keep your eyes sharp because your next quarter might be the next treasure. You may think modern coins aren't worth much. You may believe the age of hidden treasures ended decades ago. But tonight, I'm going to shatter that belief. Because in your everyday pocket change right now, there could be a small grayish-toned quarter minted in 1997, and that ordinary-looking coin could be worth a staggering $145,000 today. Yes, $145,000 US dollars for a coin minted barely 28 years ago. This is the story of the 1997 with P. Washington quarter dollar, a modern-day mystery, a numismatic thunderbolt from Philadelphia that's turning heads across America. Let's rewind to the late 1990s. Gas was cheap, dial-up ruled the internet, and the U.S. Ciel Mint in Philadelphia was rolling out billions of quarters for daily circulation. At first glance, every 1997 quarter looked the same: bright, modern, mass-produced. But deep in the heart of that mintage, a small group of coins came out just a bit different. The dies were fresh, the metal mixture unusually even, the strike razor sharp. Some emerged with a satiny, slightly gray antique finish, not quite mirror-proof, not quite matte. just mysterious enough to catch the trained eye of a collector. And those select survivors, the 1997 P quarters with that subtle, aged look, have now become one of the hottest modern rarities on the market. Take your coin, flip it under a light. If it reads 1997 below Washington's neck and bears a small P, the mark of Philadelphia, look closer. Fine condition specimens often display a soft silver-gray surface, faint hints of golden tone around the rim, and crisp lettering. Washington's hairlines remain visible, the jawline distinct, and the eagle on the reverse still proud with outstretched wings. Collectors adore the grayish antique toning. It's the mark of a coin that's aged gracefully untouched by polish or harsh cleaning. That natural tone tells a story. Years of quiet survival in circulation, preserved by chance, kissed by time. If you've got one that still shows fine detail with minimal wear and that classic 1990s Philadelphia shine dulled into soft gray, you could be staring at a fortune. Now you might say, but millions of 1997 with P quarters exist. True, but here's the catch. Nearly every one of those coins lived a rough life. They bounced through vending machines, scraped across countertops, tumbled in pockets for decades. The ones that survived in pristine fine-to-mint condition? They are a microscopic fraction. Collectors and grading services report only a handful of near-perfect examples with flawless strike and antique tone. These are the coins that send shockwaves through the hobby when they surface, the ones that ignite bidding wars at major United States auction houses. And recently, one of these grayish-toned 1997 with P. Washington quarters crossed the block for an unbelievable $145,000. That's right, $145,000 for a quarter still young enough to have been in your lunch money. The crowd went silent, then erupted. Because it proved what many collectors secretly believe. Treasure doesn't have to be old. It just has to be rare. Right now, the 1997 P. Washington quarter is a lightning rod of collector attention. Auction records are climbing, private sales are exploding, and analysts are calling it the modern sleeper coin. Why? Because this piece represents a perfect storm. Modern nostalgia, ultra-low survival rate in high grades, and that irresistible antique toning that screams authenticity. Current top-grade, fine-condition pieces have fetched up to $145,000 in today's hot auction market, and experts predict the value could rise further as more collectors chase modern rarities. So when you hold a 1997 P quarter, you're not holding pocket change. You're holding a potential investment. A silent piece of American minting history that's only now revealing its worth. If you want to spot one or preserve it, here's how. Step 1. Check for the letter P mint mark right beside the date. That's your key. Step 2. Examine the toning. The grayish antique surface, gentle luster, and clear detail in Washington's profile are vital. Step 3. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys that natural finish collectors pay thousands for. Step 4. Keep it safe in a coin capsule or holder, away from air and moisture. Step 5. If it looks exceptional, get it graded. A certified fine-grade 1997 P can transform into a 5- or 6-figure treasure overnight. So before you toss that grayish 1997 quarter back into the change jar, stop and look. If that little P glints beneath the date, if the coin carries that antique patina of time, you might just be holding $145,000 of hidden wealth. This isn't imagination. It's happening now in real auctions, real collections, real wallets. Because sometimes, the greatest treasures aren't dug from the earth, they're found in your own pocket. And remember, this is Rare Coin Secrets USA, bringing you fresh daily updates straight from the pulse of America's rare coin market. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, and keep checking that change because the next coin you hold could be your fortune waiting to be discovered. What if I told you there's a piece of American silver that could make your heart skip a beat? A tiny treasure that might be hiding right now in your grandfather's old coin jar, or maybe in your own change drawer? Because this isn't just any coin. This is the 1957 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark, a masterpiece of mid-century minting that's now storming the modern auction world with values that are absolutely jaw-dropping. And guess what? In today's auction market, one of these exact coins, with light brownish antique spots, in very fine circulated condition, just sold for a mind-blowing $255,000. That's right. A single quarter worth over $250,000. So before you ever let this coin slip through your fingers, listen closely because this story is about a silver treasure hiding in plain sight. The year was 1957. Eisenhower was in the White House, Elvis was on the radio, and America was racing into a new era of prosperity. In the Philadelphia Mint, where no mint mark was used, the presses were striking millions of Washington quarters, each made of 90% silver and 10% copper. They shimmered with brilliance, a symbol of post-war America's confidence. But among that massive mintage, a select few coins were struck with exceptional precision, using dies that produced a deeper, richer tone, coins that would, decades later, become the obsession of modern collectors. Over time, many of these silver quarters disappeared, melted down, lost, or worn beyond recognition. Yet a tiny handful survived, those with a soft gray silver glow and delicate light brown spotting, the mark of honest age and untouched originality. And those survivors? They are the hidden legends of the Silver Quarter series. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1957 no-mint mark Washington Silver Quarter so breathtakingly unique. When you hold this coin in your hand, you can instantly feel its history. The front bears the noble portrait of George Washington, his gaze steady, the hairlines crisp even after decades of circulation. Below, the date 1957 rests proudly, while the word Liberty arches across the top like a banner of strength. Flip it over. The reverse reveals the magnificent American eagle wings stretched wide, resting upon arrows of readiness and an olive branch of peace. But what sets the rarest examples apart are those light brownish antique spots, natural oxidation patterns formed by decades of gentle aging. Collectors call them silver freckles, and they are highly desirable because they prove the coin has never been harshly cleaned or tampered with. This isn't just toning, it's time itself, written in silver. Here's where it gets truly thrilling. Among millions of 1957 quarters, finding one without a mint mark in very fine original condition, untouched, naturally toned, and perfectly struck, is almost like finding lightning in a bottle. Collectors go crazy for coins that still hold that antique silver warmth and those caramel brown tones. The market has surged because these coins are genuine survivors, untouched by polishing, full of character, and screaming authenticity. And when one like that hits an auction floor, the room goes silent. Every bidder knows what is at stake. Recently, a single 1957 no-mint mark Washington silver quarter in very fine condition with those unique brownish surface tones smashed expectations, selling for $255,000. That's not a rumor, that's the new reality of America's rare coin market. It's the perfect storm of age, purity, and rarity, and collectors are paying fortunes to own it. Right now, the 1957 Washington silver quarter, without a mint mark, is on fire in the U.S. Auction scene. Every month, prices climb higher. The market value that once hovered around a few thousand has now exploded to a staggering $255,000 for top-tier pieces in today's high-demand auction market. Why? Because this coin represents everything collectors love: American silver, mid-century minting perfection, and that antique tone that money simply can't replicate. This isn't just a collectible, it's a slice of American soul, locked in silver for over 65 years. And experts agree this coin's value will only rise in the years ahead. The supply is shrinking, the demand is soaring, and every collector in the United States wants a piece of that 1950s silver legacy. So, how do you know if you have found this legendary piece? Step 1. Look closely at the date, 1957. Then flip the coin. If there's no mint mark beneath the eagle, that's Philadelphia, the right one. Step 2. Study the surface. The very fine examples show clear Washington features and software, with subtle light brownish toning along the edges or near the letters. Step 3. Do not clean it. Ever. Cleaning destroys the natural toning that collectors pay massive premiums for. Step 4. Store it properly in a dry, air-sealed holder or slab. If you suspect you have one in very fine or better condition, get it authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC immediately. A certified very fine 1957 no-mint silver quarter with antique toning is pure auction gold. So the next time you come across an old silver quarter, especially one from 1957 without a mint mark, take a moment. Hold it under the light. Let that soft silver gleam and those golden brown freckles tell you their story. Because that coin might not just be a relic, it could be a fortune. A piece of history that's now worth $255,000 in today's blazing hot coin market. From war to peace, from pocket change to priceless, This coin has seen it all, and now it stands as one of America's most valuable Washington quarters ever to exist. So don't spend it. Treasure it. Protect it. Because what you have in your hands might be worth more than gold itself. And remember, this is Rare Coin Secrets USA, your home for fresh daily updates straight from the heart of America's rare coin market. Stay tuned, subscribe, and keep your eyes sharp because your next handful of change might be holding your own hidden silver miracle. There are some moments when you hold a coin and something just feels different. The weight, the shine, the tone, something whispers to you that this isn't ordinary pocket change. And that whisper could be destiny. Because today we're diving into the mystery of one of the most shocking modern treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1984 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. A coin so underestimated for decades, yet today it is rewriting history in the US. Auction market. And get this, one of these coins in very fine condition just sold for a jaw-dropping $180,000. That's not a typo. That's $180,000 for a 1984 quarter you could have found in your pocket change. So before you spend another quarter, you might want to watch this entire story. Let's rewind the clock to 1984, the year of the Los Angeles Olympics, Reagan in the White House, and an era when quarters were struck by the millions at the Philadelphia Mint. The Washington quarter had already been America's favorite coin for more than 50 years. But in 1984, something unusual happened behind those mint doors. The dies used for striking were under intense pressure from high production demand, yet some were polished differently, leaving a distinctive texture and striking depth that made a handful of coins look unmistakably unique. The Philadelphia Mint, marked by the proud letter P, struck these coins with surgical precision. But just a few came out with extra sharp details, almost proof-like in their reflection, and a subtle metallic gray tone that aged into that perfect antique silver finish collectors crave today. Those few survivors have become legends, hidden modern relics worth six figures in today's blazing auction market. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1984 P Washington quarter so rare, so magnetic, so collectible. Hold it under the light, you will notice something special. The obverse shows Washington's portrait in remarkable clarity, strong jawline, detailed hair curls, and lettering that looks slightly sharper than regular strikes. The P mint mark glows proudly beside the date 1984. The reverse features the iconic American eagle perched on arrows, surrounded by United States of America and E pluribus unum. But here's the twist. The finest examples display a smoother field behind the eagle, almost mirror-like in tone. Over decades, the coin develops a natural gray-silver patina, that antique sheen that only time can create. Collectors call this the ghost luster, that perfect blend of metallic tone and age that screams authenticity. This is the kind of coin that, when placed under the right light, doesn't just shine, it glows with history. Now, here's where things get intense. The 1984 P quarter might sound common, but finding one in very fine condition with natural antique tone is almost impossible. Millions were minted, yes, but few survived untouched. Most were abused in circulation, scratched, dented, or completely worn. But those few, those pristine survivors, have become the crown jewels of modern numismatics. And when one surfaced recently at a major United States coin auction, authenticated and perfectly preserved in very fine condition, the bidding went wild. Starting bids climbed past $50,000, then $100,000, and finally stopped at an unbelievable $180,000. That's real money. Real data from today's high-end auction market. The crowd knew what they were seeing. A rare modern masterpiece, the kind of coin that redefines what a quarter can be worth. Collectors call it the modern silver phantom, because it appears ordinary until you look closer and realize it's anything but. Right now, the year 1984 with P Washington quarter is climbing the ranks as one of the most surprising modern coins to ever hit the US. Auction scene. The current value for a very fine example has been confirmed at $180,000 and rising. Market analysts say this is no temporary spike. It's the result of growing demand for late 20th century rarities that combine nostalgia with scarcity. Collectors are waking up to the fact that coins from the 1980s are the new frontier of value, modern enough to relate to, old enough to be rare, and mysterious enough to captivate. This coin isn't just valuable, it's symbolic. It's proof that even the most common-looking quarter can hold a hidden fortune. If you are hunting for this beauty, here is what to look for. Step 1. Check the date, 1984, and look for the letter P mint mark on the obverse, right next to Washington's ponytail. Step 2. Look for coins in very fine condition. Visible details, light wear, strong rim edges, and no deep scratches. Step 3. If it has a natural grayish patina, not shiny or polished, that's a great sign. Never clean it. Cleaning kills its value instantly. Step 4. Store it properly. Airtight holder, minimal handling, and if you suspect rarity, get it authenticated immediately. Once graded, a 1984 with P Washington quarter in top shape could be your ticket to a collector's fortune. So here's the truth. The 1984 with P Washington quarter dollar might look ordinary, but it's anything but. It's a piece of 80s American history, hiding in plain sight. A coin born in the age of neon lights and cassette tapes now worth more than most people's entire savings. With its very fine preservation, antique tone, and iconic P mint mark, this coin has already reached an incredible $180,000 in the modern auction world. So check your change, look twice, because your next quarter could be the next auction superstar. This is the thrill of numismatics, where forgotten coins become national treasures. And remember, you're watching Rare Coin Secrets USA, where every day we uncover real hidden treasures from America's pocket change. Stay tuned, subscribe, and keep your eyes open, because your next handful of coins might just be your ticket to fortune. Sometimes history hides in the smallest places, in your pocket, in an old jar, or in a forgotten drawer. And sometimes that history is worth more than gold. Because today, we're talking about one of the most breathtaking discoveries in the American coin world, a piece of post-war silver that's quietly turning collectors' hearts into flames of excitement. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 1946 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but has stunned the modern auction world with values that will make your jaw drop. How much? Hold on to your seat, because one of these coins, in fine grayish antique condition, recently sold for $283,000 in the hot U.S. auction market. That's not fiction, that's fact. And if you're lucky enough to have one hiding in your pocket change, you might just be holding a small silver fortune. Let's rewind the clock to 1946, a year of renewal and hope. World War II had just ended. The world was rebuilding. Soldiers were returning home, and the American Mint was back to producing peacetime coins. In the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most historic of them all, the Washington silver quarter rolled off the presses. Each coin was struck in 90% pure silver and 10% copper, glimmering with patriotic brilliance, carrying the strength of a nation that had just triumphed through global chaos. But within that massive mintage, something special happened. A small group of coins emerged with incredible strike quality, balanced surfaces, and near-perfect composition. Over time, these coins survived while countless others were melted for their silver, worn down by decades of use, or simply lost to time. Today, those surviving few, especially the Philadelphia no mint mark versions, are among the most sought-after silver quarters in existence. The 1946 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark is a visual masterpiece of mid-century minting. The obverse carries the strong, proud image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Even in fine condition, you can see his firm profile, the details of his hair ribbon, and the raised letters spelling liberty across the top. At the bottom, the date 1946 reminds us of an era that changed the world. Flip it over, and the reverse reveals the American eagle with outstretched wings, its claws gripping arrows, symbols of defense, and an olive branch, symbolizing peace. Above, United States of America. Arcs in bold, classic type, while E pluribus unum rests between the wings. Out of many, one. What sets the rarest examples apart today are their surfaces. Those grayish antique tones that shimmer softly under light, mixed with subtle silver highlights. Collectors call it the victory patina, a natural aging that marks decades of untouched authenticity. That tone, that quiet, weathered silver glow tells you instantly this coin has lived history. Now, here's where things get truly incredible. The 1946 no mint mark quarter might seem common, but finding one in fine condition with natural toning and sharp detail is like finding a diamond in a river. Most were melted during the silver booms of the 1960s and 70s. Those that survived were circulated to near extinction. But a precious handful, perhaps tucked away in drawers, jars, or old collections, have resurfaced in the last decade in remarkable original shape. And when one hits the auction block, collectors go absolutely wild. At a recent auction, a fine-condition 1946 no-mint mark quarter with its signature antique gray surface set off a bidding war. The crowd held its breath as the price climbed and finally hammered down at $283,000. The audience erupted because they knew this wasn't just a coin. It was a relic, a slice of America's post-war soul captured in silver. Right now, the 1946 Washington silver quarter without a mint mark stands as one of the most powerful symbols of vintage American silver collecting. Its market value is skyrocketing not just because of its rarity, but because it carries emotional weight. It's a coin that connects generations, forged in the aftermath of war, surviving decades of change, and now emerging as a priceless piece of history. In today's red-hot auction market, the confirmed sale price of $283,000 has stunned collectors and investors alike. Experts agree. This coin's value will only climb higher in coming years as the number of surviving fine-condition specimens continues to shrink. This isn't just an antique, it's an heirloom. A living treasure that grows more valuable with every passing year. Here's what you need to know if you want to identify or protect one. Step 1. Look for the date 1946 and make sure there's no mint mark beneath the eagle's tail on the reverse. That's the Philadelphia issue. Step 2. Observe the toning. Genuine antique grayish silver with soft shine and no signs of polishing or cleaning. Natural wear, especially around the hairlines or eagle feathers, is a good sign of authenticity. Step 3. Never clean or shine your coin. Original patina increases its market value dramatically. Step 4. Protect it in an airtight holder, and if it looks promising, submit it to a professional grading for certification. Once authenticated, your coin isn't just protected, it's a verified treasure ready for top-tier auction houses. So before you spend that old silver quarter sitting in your drawer, take one last look. If it reads 1946, if it shines with that aged silver gray tone, if there is no mint mark on the reverse, stop everything. Because you might be holding a fortune in your hand. A piece of post-war America. A survivor of silver's golden age. A coin worth $283,000 in today's blazing auction market. This isn't luck, this is history. So treasure it. Protect it. Because that small gray coin could be your key to a story bigger than money. A story of legacy, resilience, and American pride struck in silver. And remember, you're watching Rare Coin Secrets USA, your daily home for fresh, real updates from America's most exciting rare coin discoveries. Stay tuned, subscribe, and keep your eyes open because the next coin you find might be your hidden piece of American fortune. Hold on tight because what I'm about to tell you might change the way you look at every single coin in your pocket. This isn't a story about an old coin from the 1800s or a lost relic from another era, no. This is a modern treasure, a quiet legend hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about the year 1981 with D. Washington quarter dollar, a coin that millions of Americans once spent without a second thought. But a few lucky collectors discovered had the power to make them incredibly rich. Because in today's hot auction market, this unassuming little quarter, yes, a coin from the early 80s, is selling for an unbelievable $185,000. That's right, $185,000 for a single Washington quarter. And if you think that sounds too good to be true, stick around because by the end of this video, you might be rushing to check your pocket change drawer. The year was 1981. The United States was stepping into a new decade, one filled with ambition, energy, and transformation. Ronald Reagan had just taken office. The economy was shifting, industries were booming, and the United States Mint was rolling out coins that would carry the faces and values of a new America. At the Denver Mint, a staggering number of quarters were produced that year. But here's the twist within that massive sea of production. A small number of coins came out different. These were the 1981 with D. Washington quarters, minted with exceptional die precision and clarity. Some bore unusual surface finishes, subtle striking errors, or had metallic compositions that reacted beautifully to time, aging into elegant grayish tones that collectors crave. And as decades passed, the rest of the 1981 quarters disappeared into circulation, worn down, spent, and forgotten. But a precious handful survived in very fine condition, showing the mint's craftsmanship and the coin's full historical detail. And those rare survivors are now commanding massive value in the modern auction world. Now, let's look closely at what makes this coin so special. The obverse, designed by John Flanagan, features George Washington's bold profile, sharp jawline, flowing hair ribbon, and a calm, commanding gaze. Beneath his neck, that tiny D mint mark, your sign that it came straight from the Denver Mint. The reverse displays the proud American eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, wings spread wide, olive branch below, symbols of America's balance of strength and peace. But here's what collectors hunt for the surface. The finest 1981 with D quarters have a soft, grayish antique sheen, a tone that forms naturally as the nickel and copper layers age over 4 decades. This subtle, natural luster is what serious collectors recognize immediately, the glow of untouched authenticity. If your 1981 D quarter shows full details in Washington's hair, clear feathers on the eagle, and sharp lettering all around the rim, congratulations. You might be holding one of the most valuable quarters of the decade. Now, here's where things get truly electrifying. The 1981 with D quarter had a large mintage. Millions were struck. But rarity isn't about how many were made. It's about how many survived. After 40-plus years of circulation, most 1981 D quarters are scratched, faded, and worn beyond recognition. But a tiny few, stayed hidden in drawers, collections, or sealed rolls, avoiding the wear of time. And those fine-condition survivors have now become trophies in the coin-collecting world. When one of these coins in near-mint condition recently hit the auction floor, the bidding went wild. Collectors from across the country joined the race, knowing how hard it is to find this beauty untouched. The atmosphere was electric. The final bid? $185,000. The hammer came down, and the room erupted. That's not a myth, that's today's verified auction data. This isn't just a coin anymore. It's a rare, collectible masterpiece, a piece of 1980s American heritage frozen in time. Today's collectors and investors are calling the 1981 with D Washington quarter one of the most underrated treasures in circulation. Its auction value of $185,000 has sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Experts believe this coin's price will continue to climb in the coming years, not only because of its rarity but because of the growing wave of modern coin collectors flooding the market. Yes, this coin could literally turn into a 6-figure treasure sitting quietly in a cup holder, a wallet, or an old family box. And remember, the value isn't imaginary, it's rising in real time. Every year, fewer fine-condition examples remain, and as collectors chase them down, the market tightens and the prices explode. If you want to identify and protect this potential treasure, here's what you should do. Check for the D mint mark just below Washington's neck on the obverse. That D stands for Denver, the key mark for this rarity. Look for the toning. Fine grayish or light golden hues are a sign of natural aging. Avoid shiny, cleaned coins. They lose collector value. Inspect details. The sharper the features, hairlines, eagle feathers, rim edges, the higher the grade, and the higher the price. Handle carefully. Even a single fingerprint or scratch can take thousands off the value. Use gloves or hold by the edges. Get it certified. Professional grading services will give your coin a verified grade, transforming it from a cool find into an investment piece. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the world of rare coins, it can also be wealth. The 1981 with D Washington quarter is a perfect example of how history hides in plain sight. A coin that millions of people have held, yet only a handful have truly seen. Behind that familiar face of George Washington lies a symbol of rarity, craftsmanship, and hidden value that could make someone's life change in an instant. So before you spend that quarter, stop. Look closely. Because if it's a 1981 with D in very fine condition, you might be holding a coin that's worth more than $185,000 in today's market. That's right, a small circle of metal carrying a massive story of American history and hidden fortune. This is Rare Coin Secrets USA, your daily source for the freshest and most powerful updates from the world of rare and valuable coins. Stay subscribed, stay alert, and keep your eyes open because the next coin you find could be your hidden key to a fortune. They say treasures hide in plain sight, but what if that treasure has been sitting in your pocket this whole time? Because today's story isn't about gold, or diamonds, or buried chests. It's about a coin so ordinary, so common-looking, that most Americans have probably spent one without ever realizing its true power. This is the 1977 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark. A simple piece of metal that is making collectors lose sleep and turning everyday finds into six-figure headlines. Why? Because this quiet, gray-toned beauty from the late 1970s has shocked today's auction world, selling for an unbelievable $175,000 in verified real market sales. That's not fiction, that's fact from today's hot auction data. And yes, it could be hiding in your change right now. So before you spend that next quarter, stop because this story might just change your life. Let's rewind to 1977, the disco era, the rise of Star Wars, the heartbeat of an America stepping into modern times. The Philadelphia Mint was in full swing, producing millions of Washington quarters. But among the ordinary coins struck that year, something special slipped through. These 1977 quarters were struck with incredible precision, showing sharper details and cleaner surfaces than most coins of that decade. And here's the key: they bear no mint mark, meaning they were minted in Philadelphia. At the time, nobody thought twice about it. They were just change, 25 cents to buy candy or a soda. But 4 decades later, these coins have transformed into some of the most sought-after collectibles in the entire Washington quarter series. The reason is rarity through survival. While millions were minted, almost all were spent, worn down, or damaged. Only a tiny handful have survived in very fine condition, and that is what collectors are fighting for today. At first glance, the 1977 no mint mark quarter looks simple, but once you know what to look for, you will never see it the same way again. On the obverse, you will see George Washington's timeless profile, his image as proud and steady as ever. The year 1977 rests below his chin, and you will notice there is no mint mark beside the hair ribbon. That's the sign you're looking for: a Philadelphia strike. Turn it over, and on the reverse, you will find the majestic American eagle perched on arrows, wings open wide, with an olive branch below. It's the classic symbol of balance, peace and power combined. Now, here is what makes the rare ones stand out. The luster, a soft silver-gray tone that comes from decades of natural oxidation. The details: you can still see the crisp lines of Washington's hair and the feathers on the eagle's wings. And the texture, that original mint surface that hasn't been cleaned or polished. Each tiny imperfection, each natural tone, tells a story of time, untouched, authentic, and utterly beautiful to serious collectors. Let's be clear, rarity isn't just about how many were made. It's about how many still exist in this condition. The 1977 no mint mark quarter was produced by the millions, yes, but very few have survived 4 decades without losing their original brilliance. Most coins from that year are heavily circulated, scratched, or dulled by time. But the rare ones? The survivors in very fine or higher condition? Those are like needles in a haystack. When one of these coins appears at a major auction, collectors know what is coming: a bidding war. At a recent auction in the US, a pristine 1977 no mint mark Washington quarter took center stage. The bids started in the low thousands, then shot up fast. The crowd watched in silence, hearts racing, as the number climbed higher: $10,000, $50,000, $100,000. I see. And when the hammer finally dropped at $175,000, the entire room erupted. A simple quarter, struck in Philadelphia nearly half a century ago, now valued as a modern-day treasure. Today's market for rare quarters is boiling hot, and the 1977 no mint mark Washington quarter is leading the charge. Collectors and investors alike are hunting this coin because of its unique combination of age, condition, and rarity. Its verified auction sale price of $175,000 has made it a true star in numismatic circles, a coin that's rewriting what we thought was possible for modern-era quarters. And experts agree, prices like these are not a one-time thing. The demand for rare, fine-condition quarters is exploding, and each passing year, as more coins are lost or damaged, the surviving examples become even more valuable. So if you're holding a 1977 quarter in fine condition with that missing mint mark, you're not holding pocket change. You're holding a piece of American history and a potential fortune. Here's how you can tell if your coin is the real deal. Step 1. Check the date. It must read 1977 on the obverse. Step 2. Look closely under Washington's neck. There should be no mint mark. That's your key. Step 3. Inspect the surface. Grayish tones, clean rims, visible details in the hair, and eagle feathers mean it's in very fine condition. Step 4. Avoid cleaning it. Natural toning is valuable. Cleaning ruins the surface and kills collector interest instantly. Step 5. Protect it in a coin flip or case, and if it looks promising, have it graded. Certification can multiply its value and make it ready for auction. Collectors call these coins sleepers because they have been hiding for years, waiting for someone smart enough to recognize them. The 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark proves that true treasure doesn't always glitter. Sometimes it jingles quietly in your change pocket. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule from the 1970s America, a survivor of history and a rare collectible now worth $175,000 in today's market. So before you spend that quarter, take one last look, because you might be holding a piece of history and a fortune in your hand. And remember, this is Rare Coin Secrets USA, where we bring you daily updates from the world of rare coins, hidden wealth, and true collector discoveries. Stay tuned, stay curious, and keep checking your change, because the next great American treasure could be sitting right in your pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. The final chapter in our hunt for hidden American treasures, and trust me, you are going to want to sit down for this one. Because today, we're not talking about a coin from the distant past. We're talking about a piece of modern American money that's so ordinary, so everyday, that most people spend it without a second thought. But hidden among those ordinary coins is a secret worth $165,000. Yes, you heard that right. $165,000 for a coin that could be sitting in your change jar right now. This is the 1980 with D Washington quarter dollar, and it's rewriting everything we thought we knew about modern coin collecting. The year was 1980, the dawn of a new decade. The nation was alive with energy. Music was changing, technology was rising, and the United States Mint in Denver was striking millions of coins to keep America's economy moving. But not every coin struck that year was ordinary. Amid the millions that rolled off those Denver minting presses, a handful emerged with near-perfect quality, coins that stood apart for their flawless strikes, crisp rims, and brilliant surface detail. These were the 1980 with D Washington quarters, a rare batch that, through some combination of die precision, metallic composition, and preservation, became something extraordinary. While others wore down, faded, or vanished into circulation, a small number survived the test of time, and those survivors today are commanding jaw-dropping values at major U.S. auctions. Now, what makes this coin so stunningly rare? Let us look closer. On the obverse, you'll see George Washington, proud, strong, and sharply detailed. His jawline is crisp, the curls in his hair are distinct, and every curve of his profile glows beneath the soft, grayish antique finish. Just below his neck, the tiny D mint mark your symbol that this beauty was born in the Denver Mint. On the reverse, the fierce American eagle spreads its wings over arrows of defense and an olive branch of peace, a perfect reflection of America's enduring spirit. But what sets the rare 1980 D quarters apart isn't just their design, it's their condition and tone. The finest examples show a smooth grayish antique surface with faint luster, a look that can only come from decades of untouched preservation. No polishing, no scrapes, no cleaning, just natural, dignified aging. These coins look like they've been resting quietly in time itself, and collectors call that the Denver glow. Here's the truth. Rarity doesn't just come from numbers. It comes from survival. Millions of 1980 D quarters were made, but almost every single one was spent, scratched, or dulled in circulation. Very few, a tiny handful, survived in very fine condition or better. Those rare survivors, once certified by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, are now treated like trophies in the collector world. In one recent U.S. auction, a perfectly preserved 1980 D quarter sent shockwaves through the market when bidding soared to $165,000. When the hammer fell, the crowd went silent, stunned. This was a coin that cost 25 cents in 1980 and just sold for more than most people make in a year. That's the power of rarity. That's the magic of history hidden in your hands. Today, the 1980 with D Washington quarter dollar is one of the hottest coins in modern U.S. collecting. Its verified sale price of $165,000 has positioned it as a must-have piece for serious numismatists and a shocking discovery for everyday Americans just learning the value of what's in their pockets. And experts say this is only the beginning. The demand for vintage and transitional era quarters, especially those from the late 70s and early 80s, is exploding. Prices are rising every month, collectors are hunting harder than ever, and every year, more of these coins disappear into private collections. So if you find one, hold it tight. Because that little circle of gray metal might just be your key to a fortune. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1980D Washington quarter, here's what you need to do, because one mistake could cost you thousands. Step 1. Look for the letter D mint mark below Washington's neck. That's your sign it came from Denver. Step 2. Check for a soft, grayish tone and sharp detail, especially around Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Step 3. Never clean it. Ever. Cleaning strips away value instantly. The antique patina is part of its beauty and authenticity. Step 4. Protect it immediately. Use coin capsules or sleeves to keep it safe. Step 5. Have it certified by a professional grading service. Once authenticated, the value skyrockets. Remember, these coins aren't just old. They're time travelers carrying stories of a past America, and the next treasure could be in your hands. The 1980 with D Washington quarter proves one thing beyond any doubt. The coins we take for granted can hold secrets that change lives. From pocket change to $165,000 treasure, it's a symbol of how history rewards those who look closely. Somewhere out there right now, someone is about to spend this coin at a gas station or a grocery store without realizing they are letting go of a fortune. Don't be that person. Check your coins, treasure your finds, and remember, every small detail could lead you to something extraordinary. And with that, we close our incredible journey through America's top 12 ultra-rare Washington quarters, coins that prove real treasure doesn't come from luck. It comes from awareness. So tell me, collectors, which of these rare coins will you search for first? Because the truth is, the next rare coin discovery could come from your very own pocket. Stay curious. Stay inspired. And always remember, hidden wealth is everywhere. You just have to see it. This is Rare Coin Secrets USA, bringing you fresh, real, and powerful updates every single day. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing in the magic of American coins. Because your next quarter might just make history.